why we will use these variables in the Power Automate, right? For storing the values. If you want to store any values, right, we are going to be use the variables in the Power Automate. Here we have the different types of variables we have. Let me load the Power Automate. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now,
Yes,
yesterday,
sir.
right, we discussed the some flows like the how to create the automated flow, instant flow, scheduled flow we created, what are the triggers we have for it, and what are the actions we have. We discussed it today. Like today, sorry, yesterday. Today, right, we are going to be discuss the what is meant by variable, how many types of variables we have in the Power Automate. We are going to be discuss. See the variables in the sense, right? If you want to store the any values, right? Here we can use the variables for storing the values. Now I will show you. Let me create one sample flow. I will create like my flow name. I'm going to give like variables. You can take the any trigger, manual trigger I have taken. Now if you click on a new step, right, if you type the variable, you can see the all the variables. We have the six types of variables we have. Initialize variable, set variable, increment variable, decrement variable, append to string variable, append to array variable. These are the six types of variables we have in the Power Automate. First, right, if you want to store any value, right, we are going to be the variable. We have the different types of variables. We have six types of variables. We have initialize, set, increment, decrement, append to array, append to string, and append to array variable. First, right, if you want to create a variable, we are going to be use the initialize variable. How we are going to be create a variable? Using this initialize variable, right, we are going to be create the variable. Once we added that initialize variable, see in the Power Automate also, right, we have to rename the variable whatever the action, like in the Power Apps we are renaming the controls, right? Suppose if you take the label, we are give for the label, right, we are renaming and we are giving the relevant name, right, for that controls. In the Power Automate also, whatever the actions we have taken, for that actions also we can give the relevant name, like suppose this variable for which purpose are you are using, for that name, right? For our understanding purpose, we are going to be uh, rename the name. If you click on three eclipse, right, you can see the rename. Whatever the name, we can give the relevant name, whatever the name if you want to give. Mm, we can give like employee name, what are the name if you want to give, right? The relevant name we are going to be give emp employee name. The starting rate, if you want for identification of your variable, rate, you can give the where also. If you don't give also, it's fine. Whatever the name, right, for your convenient name, right, you are going to be give for your variable, for the actions, for your actions. Now it is asking the name and the type. You can give the your variable name. Whatever the name, you now I'm creating the one variable for storing the any employee name or any employee ID. Suppose I want to store the some value here. Now I am going to give the name of my variable. Enter your variable name. Where employee name. I want to store the employee name here. You can give like this. Then type. See here also we have the data types in the Power Automate. Boolean in the sense yes or no. If you want to store the some Boolean values like a true, false, yes or no, the time when we are going to use the Boolean data type. If you want to store the any number integer in the sense numbers, if you want to store any numbers, right, we can use this integer. Float in the sense the values, right, it will be look like 0.13, 1.23. These are like a float values. That type of values if you want to store, right, we can use the float data type. If you want to store the any names like characters, Pawan, Akil, Venkatesh, those are the names like these names. If you want to store it, we can use the string. Array. Array means array is like a combination of the string. It will be like array is like a combination of the string, integer, float, all the values, right? We can store array, right? It will be in the which form for declaring the array values, right? We can use the square bracket. Want to create any array values, right, we can use this the square brackets for declaring the array values. Then object, in the object, right, it will have the all using the array using the array inside the object, right, will have the array integer, string, all the values, it will be we can use it. For symbol, right, for declaring the object, right, we are going to be use the flower bracket. For declaring the object, we can use the flower bracket for declaring the object. This suppose you selected the object, right, now you can give the your object the values in the flower bracket, right, whatever the values if you want to store, we can give in the in this format. We are going to with array, right, we can use the square bracket. These are the 6 data types we have for storing the values. Now, right, first I will show you, I will take the one string. Just I want to store the employee name only, right? That's the reason I'm taking the string data type. You can give the name. I want to store my name Pawan Kumar. This is like from here also, if you want to declare it, you can declare it. So now, right, I have created the variable. This is my variable name. Next, set variable we have, right? Why we will use this set variable? Want to create a variable, right, we can use this initialize variable. Next we have the set variable where we can use this set variable. Now I have created the one variable. In this variable, if you want to store the, if you want to set any value in this variable, right, see in the name only you can see the set variable. Whatever the variable you created for that variable, if you want to set any value, means if you want to give any value, now, right, you can see now my variable name here. Now in this variable, right, I want to store my name. I will select the variable initialized variable I have selected here. In, you can see the value is like a required field. Now here you can give what value you want to store. I'm going to be setting the value here in the set using the set variable, right? We are going to be set the values, whatever the values if you want to store it, that value we are going to be give here in the set variable action. See, these are all the actions, whatever after trigger rate, whatever the steps we are taking, all these are like actions. For these actions, right, what is the name? Variables. Now I have using the initialize variable, right, I have created a variable, and using the set variable, right, I have stored the Pawan string, the Pawan Kumar, the name I have storing in this variable. This is the set variable. Like how we can use this, suppose, right, If you want to pass this variable, now I have stored this, I have given the static value. Instead of static value, right, we are going to be pass the dynamic values also. Suppose in the SharePoint we have the employee name. That employee name field we want to store in this variable, right? We are going to be store it. We need to, how we can get the SharePoint. Now tell me, I want to get the SharePoint to list data into my Power Automate. How, which action can I use it? Can you tell me? I want to get the SharePoint data here. Which action can I use it? Yesterday, I think I have explained you. If you remember, you can tell me. Which action can I use? Akhil. Venkatesh. Okay. Suppose I want to add a new action. How can I add the new action? Mm. Then
Connectors and SharePoint.
If I type SharePoint, I can get the SharePoint related action. After that, which action can I use here? Tell me any what action can I use? Send an HTTP, send content approval, copy file, check-in file, get items, list folder, get file metadata. See here in the name only they have mentioned. You think like which action can I use? I'm reading the action name also. Send, set, copy, check-in, get items. In the name only you can see get items. What is my like, what is my question? Can you tell me?
How you can get the data from SharePoint through the Power Automate.
I want to get the SharePoint. I need to get the SharePoint data into Power Automate. See in the name only you can say get items. You can use this get items action. Now you can select the your site address. Here it is asking the site address list name. Now you can select the site address. What is my any site? Communication site, finance site. For this account, right? For the Venki's account, he has the only this sites has the access. You can select that site. Then list name in this site. Don't have any list. Team site. You have the employee onboarding. From this list, right? You want to get the some any. Now I have get this list. Then suppose right this action now in this variable, right? I want to store the some employee name. If I have in this employee onboarding list, right? If I have the employee name column, right? That column value I want to, instead of giving static value, I want to give the dynamic value from this list. I want to give for that, right? In this list I want to store, right? That for that, right, we need to move this action up. We need to move this action. We need to keep above for this variable. From this, right, you want to get the value, right? That's the reason we need to keep this get items first. Then we can keep after this get items. We need to give our variable. Now I will remove this static value. From the dynamic, right, you can see in this value, right, I want to give the get items column values, right? Keep cursor here, and from the dynamic content, right, you can select your column names. See here in the, if you scroll down, right, you can see the all the columns in that list, whatever the columns we have, that column names you can see here: employee country, manager, category, created by, modified by, content, employee country ID, employee first name, employee address, employee last name. Like which column if you want to store that particular column, right, you can give here. Automatically the loop it is coming. Why it is coming loop, right? We have the multiple values, right, in that list, right? that every value, right, how many items we have in that list, right, all the items it will come and it will store step by step how many items we have. Whenever the flow it run, right, all the values it will get it, and every value, right, every employee name it will store how many items we have, that all the names it will be stored here. Like this, right, we are going to be store the dynamic values also. Now this variable, right, wherever in the, if you want in the send an email, if you want to use your variable, you can use the variable. If you want to update this value in any other list, right, we are going to be update it. Why we are using this variable? For storing the values. After storing the values, right, you can, if you want to use anywhere in any other actions, if you want to use it, we are going to be use this variable. Now I will keep outside. I don't want this one. I will delete. Like this, right? We are going to, we can add the dynamic values into the variable like this. I will give the static values Pawan Kumar. Fine. Using the set variable, right? We are going to be set the values. Next, now like I have used the, see if you want to move these actions from one place to another place, right? Just right click and do drag and drop. If you say once you, if you click on double click, right, it will select the your action, and you can do drag and drop wherever you want to do. You can do drag and drop also. Whenever the plus symbol it came, right, that time only you can drop here. It will drop there wherever you want. Now I want to keep here after get items. Just you can like this, right? We are going to be drag and drop. Now this is my like I created the initialize like one variable I created, right? Then this is like a set variable. We have the variables, increment variable, decrement variables here. We have the increment variable, decrement variable, appended to string variable. Now, right, appended to, I will tell you like appended to string variable. The appended to string variable when we will use, you have the some string value. Suppose employee only. This is like a string only, right? For this string value, if you want to append in a sense adding, for that string append in the sense means it means like adding the value to the your string. Now, right, I created for the Pawan Kumar, right, I want to add the, suppose you want to add the some other value. If you want to add, then I'm going to use the appended to string. If you want to add any value to your string, right, that time we are going to be use the appended to string variable. Now my where employee name is my variable. I want to add the some extra value I want to add for this variable, right? I want to add the, already I have the variable. For that variable, right, I want to add the what for the Pawan Kumar, right, I'm going to add the Vatla Modi. For your string values, right, if you want to add the any value, that time, right, we can use the appended to string variable we are going to be use. Then if you want to see the value it is added or not, right, for that, right, now in this variable the value it is added or not, if you want to check, right, we can use the compose. Yesterday I think I have shown you the compose, how we can, if you, the compose also, right, if you want to see your output of any input value, if you want to see the output, right, we are going to be use this compose. Now I have the variable where employee name, that employee name output, if you want to see, right, any, not only employee name, if you want to see the output of any actions, right, we are going to be use this compose action. In interview also they will ask uh, why we will use this compose. If you want to store, if you want to see any output of your actions, right, we are going to be use the compose now from the dynamic content, right? This appended to string variable output I want to see, or no, the output I can give the my variable name here. I will say the where employee name, that variable name I have given, that output, right? I'm going to be see here for debug, for the testing purpose, right? If you want to check, you can able to check here. Now I will run the I will run my flow. I can, if I let me see the Wadlomodi, it is added to my variable or not. First I have created variable. After that I have set a value to the variable Pawan Kumar. After that I have used the appended to string variable, adding the Wadlomodi to the my variable my to the Pawan Kumar. Now I will save my flow. I will test it. The value it is added or not. I'm going to be test. Now how I can test it? After saving, right? You can say the test symbol. Click on manually. Click on test. Continue. Run flow. Done. My flow run successfully. Now you can see the output every action, right? If you click on employee name, name is like string. Then in the set variable, what I added the Pawan Kumar. This is like input. This is the output to Pawan Kumar. Same only. And I used the appended to string variable. In the appended to string variable, right? I added the Wadlamodi, the value. This output, right? In the compose, I'm going to see. See here, Pawan Kumar Wadlamodi. Using the appended to string variable, for this variable, right? I added the Wadlamodi. If you want to add append any string to your variable, right? Then we can use this appended to string variable. Same like this, right? We have the appended to string. We'll have the appended to array also. We have. We'll discuss that appended to array also. Next we have, okay. We'll complete this appended to one more action. We have appended to array. Appended to array variable also we have, right? We can see first, right? If you want to use this appended to variable, right? You need to create the array variable. We need to create. How we are going to be create using the initialize variable. Now I will create this. If I use the string, right? Data type. Now I will use the array data type. Take initialize variable. Initialize variable. Now you can give the. Now I'm going to declare the array, not boolean. I will select the array. I'm going to be give the my array subjects. I'm going to be store subjects. The data type will be like array. The how we can declare the array using the square brackets. We are going to be declare here. We can give the array values. The array is like a common. We can use the string integers. We can use it. I will give the strings, all the string values in the double quotes, right? I can give the all the subjects max. I think not required double quotes. We'll see. Comma. Next physics. Comma. Chemistry. This is the array values I have. we can use the set. See, directly I am declaring the values in the value in the initialize variable only I have clear. You can use the set variable also. In a set variable also we can add this array values if it is needed. Directly also we can add here in the initialize variable only. Now right, I can use the append to array variable. For this array, right, this is my array values I have. For the array you want to add the some string. If you want to add that time, right, we can use the append to array variable. Now what I will do, I can give the array. What is my variable array? The variable name is like subject, right? I'm going to select the subject. Now I want to add the value to my array, right? You can give what value you want to add to your array. Now in massive physics or chemistry I want to add the English to my variable. I'm going to give the English here. Now right, if I run the flow, right, now I will take the compose. First seeing that output of my variable. Compose I have taken. You can give the your variable name subject. Now I will run the flow. I will test for this subject array the English it is added or not. Now I will save the flow. I will test. Manually select manually test run flow done. I got the error. The way see here I can say the error. If you have any errors, right, you can see the error details also. Start time error. What is the error? No, action initialize variable failed. While initializing the variable, right, I got the error. What is the error? The variable subjects of type array cannot be initialized or sub. Array cannot be initialized or updated with the value of string. Actually, it is not taking the string while declaring the value variable. It is not taking. Array cannot be initialized or updated with the value of type string. Only support the value of array. The format, right, we have not given properly. Let me change. We need to give in the double quotes. Let me give in the double quotes. I think we will get the error. Let me try. Actually, we need to give in the double quotes the values that we have given the string values, right? We need to give the double quotes. Now my flow has been run successfully. This is my subject values, maths, physics, or chemistry. Now using the appended to array variable, right? I have added the English to this variable subject. One subject I added. Appended to array variable, I can say English. If you can say the output here. See, now I can say the output for my subject variable, right? The English also it is added now. Before I have only maths, physics, chemistry. Now I can say the English also. If you want to add any value to your array, right, that time we can use the appended to array variable action we are going to be used. We discussed the four variable. First is like initialize variable, set variable, Next, appended to string variable. Next, we used the appended to array variable. Four types of variables we discussed. The set variable, right? When we will use for your initialize variable, if you want to if you want to declare any value, right, that time we can use the set variable. Appended to string variable, when you will, if you want to add any value to your string value, right, that time we can use the appended to string value. Then appended to array variable, if you want to if you want to add uh, any value to your array, right, that time we are going to be use the appended to array variable. Remaining two, we have increment variable and decrement variable. If you type remaining two, we have increment variable, decrement variable. Increment variable, decrement variable. The increment variable, right, suppose you have the any number, any id or numbers we have. For the increment variable, decrement variable, right, the data type we are going to be use the number, sorry, into integer data type we are going to be use. The increment variable, suppose you have the number, for your number, right, if you want to increment some any value, right, we are going to be use the increment variable. Now I will I need to use the data type will be like integer data type I supposed to use here. Initialize variable, you can give the employee id or any suppose if you can give the numbers, any name you can give. Now you can use the integer. If you want to use the increment variable, decrement variable, right, we are going to be use the data type will be like integer. For the integer only, the increment and the decrement the variable it will support it, or else it will not support. If you now, right, have given the number, the value, if you want to set here, we can set directly here, or else you can take the set variable. In the set variable also we are going to be set the value. Okay, I will set here only static value 1 I have given. For this one, right, I want to increment in the sense it will add the value. Now you can give our variable name number. See here it is coming the number. Remaining data types it's not coming. The employee name, subjects, it is not coming. Why it is not coming? Oh, the data types for the, it is like different. If only the number whatever you have taken the integer, right, that data types only it will come here. Now, right, I will select the variable name here. For the increment in the sense how what number, like we can give the number here. Suppose if I give 2, right, if I give 2 or 1, suppose if I give 1, right, it will add the +1 value to this value. The output, right, it will come the 2. If you want to add the 2, right, we can give the 2. Now for this 1, right, +1 1, for this 1, right, it will add the +2. The output, right, we can get the 3. Like this, right. For your variable, right, if you want to add the any value, right, we can use the increment variable. Like if you want to decrease the any value, like if you want to do minus, then we can use the decrement variable. You can say the decrement. See, I can say the decrement variable. For your value, right, if you want to do the, see, for the decrement variable also it will support the number data type only. I have select number. For your now I have added the 1, sorry, I have the value I have given 1, right? For the 1 I have given the 2 value I'm adding. If you want to do minus for your value, right, then we can give the what value if you want to minus. I want to minus like 1 for your variable, right? It will minus 1. It will detect the minus value. It will minus 1, right? It will applicable for your value. If you want to see the output of your variable, right, now I'm going to use the compose. In the compose, right, I will select my variable name number. Now see here, first I have declared the initialize variable. In the initialize variable, right, value I have given 1. Using the increment, right, I have added the +2. Now the value will be like 3. Again I have taken the decrement variable, like decrement in the sense minus for the value for the for this value, right, it will do the -1. Finally, right, we'll get the output. What is the output? Can you tell me?
2.
Correct. Now the output, right, we will get the 2. Now we'll see. We will run our flow. We will do test like this. In the based on our requirement, right, we are going to be use this increment variable, decrement variable, append array, append to string. Those are the variables, right, we are going to be used in the real-time scenarios. We can use it. I'm going to test run flow. Done. Now I will go to my variable. You can see first, right, I have given the value 1. After that, right, I increment variable 2 I have given. The output, right, you can see 3. The output 1 plus 2 3. Decrement variable. Now for the variable 3, right, I have decrement by 1. 3 minus 1 2. Directly I can see the output here also. In the compose also I can see the 2 only. Like this, right, for your for your numbers, right, if you want to do my add or minus, right, we can use this increment variable, decrement variable. We are going to be use for your variables. Understood now? Like initialize variable, set variable, appended to string variable, appended to array variable, compose also, and then increment variable, decrement variable. All the 6 you understood, right? Anyone have any doubts? Okay, Neeraj. Why we are using the variables, right? If you want to store the any values, right, we are going to be use these variables in the Power Automate. In the Power Apps, how we use the say global variable, local variables, right? Like set to update context. Same here also. We are going to be use the variables. We are going to be store the values. Just for our understanding purpose, right? I have given the static values, like in the employee name I have given my name. In the real-time scenarios, right, we are going to be store the dynamic values. How we have given the get items, I have given the employee name, right. We are going to be from the dynamic content, right. Instead of my name, I'm going to use the employee name. From the get items action, right, I'm going to give the employee name. Same here also for the IDs and all, right, we are going to use some ID from the dynamic content, right. I'm going to give the any employee ID like this, right. I'm going to give the data types, right. Understood, right. If you want to store the boolean in the sense yes or no values, right, if you want to check that time, right, we can use this boolean data type. if you want to store the any float in the sense 1.0 to 2.03 like that point something, it will come that are like float values. String, like any names, or if you want to store that, you can use string. Array, just now we explained, right? The array value, it will declare in the square bracket. Those values, right, if you want to store, you can use the array. Then object, right, we can declare in the flower brackets. If you want to store any object value, right, in the real-time scenarios, right, the output, right, we will get in the some object format. We are going to be get that object, right, how it will come, the object, right, in the flower bracket it will come. That value, if you want to store in the variable, right, that time we can use the data type will be like object, we can use it. That time we are going to be use the object, and object to data type we can use it. We can store the object values. Object I have given the output, right, sometimes we will get in the object format. In the flower bracket we are going to be get that value if you want to store it. Actually this value, right, the get items value will get in the object format only. We'll see how the output it will come. Now I will save my flow. Entire, right, in that list, right, all the values it will come. We'll see we are storing entire that object, that values, list values in this object. Test it. I'm getting the error. The variable object of the type cannot be initialized updated with the value of array. Okay, actually that value, right, it is coming in the array format. It is not supporting object. It should be like in the flower bracket it should come. If I give instead of object, right, if I give object, it will take instead of that object format, right, we are not getting any values. Instead of value, let me give the body. Body also, I think it will come in the array format only. Let me check. Same name, it will not take. You need to give different name. Let me test. Maybe we'll get error here only in the object. Again, we'll get error. We'll see. Yeah, correct. My flow has been run successfully. The body, right, the get items body, it is coming in the object format. Now you can see. If you observe, see here, I told you, right, the array it is storing in the the format square bracket. See here, the values, right, in the value or in the get item list, right, all the values it is coming here in the array format. This is like array format. Then this is like object. I told you, right, object in the floor, in the floor bracket it will come is like the object values. This object value, wherever you want to pass that, we are going to be is this object. Understood, right? Array, object, string, integer.
వాల్యూలో ఆ కోడింగ్ అంతా ఆటోమేటిక్ గా వచ్చేస్తుందా మనం అవి సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోగానే అర్రే అవి
దీని అవుట్పుట్ గెట్ ఐటమ్స్ అవుట్పుట్ ఉంది కదా, దాని అవుట్పుట్ జస్ట్ మీకు అది ఎలా వస్తుంది చూపించడానికి, అరే ఎలా వస్తుంది, ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎలా వస్తుంది చూపించడానికి మీకు ఊరికే అది చూపించుకున్నాను అంతే. అది ఇక్కడ వాల్యూ తీసుకున్నా అరేకి వచ్చి వాల్యూ తీసుకున్నా, ఆబ్జెక్ట్ వచ్చి బాడీ తీసుకున్నా డైనమిక్ కంటెంట్ లో. అంటే మీకు ఊరికి చూపించి అది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అనేది ఎలా ఉంటుంది, అరే అనేది ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని చెప్పి. ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అయితే ఇలా ఫ్లవర్ బ్రాకెట్ లో ఇలా వస్తుంది అవుట్పుట్, అరే వచ్చి స్క్వేర్ బ్రాకెట్ లో ఇలా వస్తుంది అనమాట. ఇంకా ఇంటిజర్ స్ట్రింగ్ యాజ్ యూజువల్ నార్మల్ ఓన్లీ. We can declare normal format and we can select the data type. String like it will come the normal string format only. Integer, number,
numbers,
boolean, yes or no, float like 1.02, like the in point the form number format, the
decimal
digits
format.
will come. Decimal format will come. Based on requirement, right? If you want to store the string values, we can use the string data type. If you want to store array, we can use the array. Integer, if you want to store any numbers, right, we can use the integer data type. Based on the requirement, right, we are going to be take the data type and we can create the variables. Then that's all about the variables. The compose, right, if you want to see any output of your actions, right, we are going to be use the compose also. Instead of variables, right, we can use the compose also. Using the compose also, right, we are going to be store the values. Any value, right, we are going to be directly, but we are using the data types, right, for using the initialize variable. If you use the compose, right, we are not providing any data type automatically. If whatever the data type you provided, right, automatically it will take. Suppose if I take compose, right, the data type, if you give integer, number, any value if you give, right, in any format, it will store the value in the compose directly, not require any particular data type. If you give the some any number, right, it will store the value. Now I'm storing the 21, right, this 21 value wherever you want to use, we can use it. How we can use it? In the dynamic content, right, we can see. No, send an email I will take. In the send an email, if you want to pass the 21 value, right, they are going to be passed. In the mail, right, I want to pass it from in the body section, I want to pass, right, from the dynamic content, right, you can see the output, the variable names, compose 4, compose 3, this compose 4, right, you can select the compose 4. Now 21 value, right, it will come here, the mail it will send here. The body, the subject also, if you want to give any dynamic values, right, you want to give any employee name, then you can give employee name. I want to give employee name. Then save. Yeah, I'm storing the values, variable values, right, that values, right, wherever you want to use, you can use. I have used in the send an email. Based on your requirement, right, you can use any in the update an item in your SharePoint. Wherever you want to use it, we can use those values. Just we should understand like what is the variables, in which scenario we are going to be used. We have to analyze it and we are going to be used in the real-time scenarios. That's it, guys, from my side. If you have any doubts, you can ask me regarding the variables. Akhil, Neerja. Akhil,
Yeah,
I'll start the recording.